Hey guys, it's your bad bitch Katie, and I'm back at it again with a new video about hosiery. So back in the day, only rich people wore hosiery. It was worn only by men who were rich and wealthy and didn't know what the fuck to do with their money. So they had people sitting there sewing these hosiery things just so they could ride their horses and be like, yes, I'm rich, bitch. I cannot believe that you were really a fuckboy if you were out here in some tights. Look at him. Look at her looking at him. Look at her looking at us. She's like, he's about to clap at these cheeks tonight. The first woman to be known for wearing stockings was Queen Elizabeth I. So let me just give you a little rundown on my bitch Elizabeth. Her father was Henry VIII of England, and he was the biggest fuckboy of the fucking century. All he did was go around clapping cheeks, having tons of mistresses, and not knowing how to fucking act. He had 6 wives. One of them, he cut off their head. The others, they just fucking disappeared out of nowhere. When he said, I'm done with that pussy, he just was like, oh, I'm throwing you out. And he'd have his mistresses in the castle with the wives and not give a fuck. Like, he was crazy. Now, Elizabeth was a bad bitch in her own way. She wasn't the first in line for the throne. There was a few boys who took it, but then eventually people didn't know how to act back then. God don't like ugly, so they all dropped like flies, and eventually Elizabeth became the queen. And after she got the throne, she literally changed England with her big dick energy. Like, literally. She would not get married because she would not share the throne with anyone, as she should, because she was just like this amazing woman. She was a strong woman. And they were like, Elizabeth, you're a girl. You're supposed to get married. And she was like, fuck you, bitch, or I'll cut your head off. Liz actually had a famous beef with her cousin Mary. And you can watch more about that on the show Reign. And if you want to hear more about her fuckboy dad, you could watch that on The Tudors. Yes, it's very inaccurate. Yes, Henry was not that sexy, but it's a good show and there's a lot of clapping cheeks. So it's entertaining. You know, you like to see people fuck up. You like to see bitches' heads get cut off. You like to see bitches get banished to the convents. All of that's fun. Just check it out. All right, now that I'm done acting like a clown, let's go into the future to the 18th and 19th centuries, when now stockings were more common with women and men not so much because they wanted their balls to be free or whatever the reason fucking was. So now, stockings for women weren't really empowering. It wasn't a status of, yes, I'm a woman, but I can wear stockings. It's not just a male thing. It actually became pretty controlling because now stockings wasn't just to stay warm and it wasn't just to show how fucking wealthy you were, but it was a sign of modesty. And if you didn't wear it, you were a fucking whore, and how dare you show your ankles. What fucks me up about this time is that they actually used to have patterns in the hosiery. Like, your stockings had stripes, it had like little polka dots, and nobody saw it. Nobody saw it except you and maybe your husband. And men didn't even know how like women worked back then. So like, you didn't even want your husband seeing that. Like, oh yes, honey, let's fuck for 2 seconds until you impregnate. I don't know what I'm saying. What is this clitoris that you speak of? And is it a symptom of hysteria? It must be. In the 1920s, skirts were actually shorter and women actually could show off their stockings. Naturally, they actually had crazy patterns and it became more of a trend to show off your stockings and be like, yes, I'm that bitch. Throughout the 1930s and the beginning of the 1940s, women wore nylon stockings. The fabric was strong, you could stretch it, you could do anything you wanted with it. It didn't really tear. In World War II, men were away and women took their jobs in factories. This meant shorter hair, more masculine clothing, and no stockings. Now, it wasn't a choice to not have stockings. They actually wanted their stockings a lot. But because of the war effort, a lot of materials in America were rationed. Nylon was one of the materials that they needed the most. So women actually took off their stockings and donated it to the war effort. Now, maybe I'm not patriotic, but you're not fucking taking my stockings. I'm sorry. But women also wanted to be modest because, you're a whore if your actual leg shows. So instead, they traded out their stockings for liquid stockings. After the war was over, stockings were back and women basically went back to their old lives of nylon stockings. I mean, they were literally knocking bitches down just to get into the store and get some stockings. It was serious. By the 1950s, designer brands noticed the demand for stockings. So they took stockings, made them super expensive so a broke bitch like me can't afford them, and made them like couture. Stockings also became even more sexual than it was before. It was the subject of many pinups, and Harry Ekman is known for using it in his. In 1959, the pantyhose was invented. These were much easier because instead of being held up by a fucking garter belt, it just went over your butt. Anne Margaret was known for wearing these with a leotard. In 1967, hold-ups were invented, and these were basically thigh highs that didn't need any string or garter belt to keep them up. These were revolutionary for many girls because they didn't like pantyhose since it went over their butt and it was tight over their waist, and it wasn't like stockings that needed a garter belt. Today, no one really gives a fuck about whether or not you wear hosiery or not. Most girls use Nair, or they wax, or they shave. It really doesn't even matter though. Like, just wear your legs the way you want it. If you want to have leg hair, if you want to have smooth as fuck legs, I don't really care, and neither should you. Just be your own bad bitch, live your best life, and that's the end of this video. I hope you liked this video. Comment below any other topics you want to talk about, any corrections. Did I miss anything? How's your day? Did you get dick down? Like, I want to hear all about it. Like, guys, comment below. I love talking to you.